Hi there, it's Beth here from My Pilates Time. Thanks for joining me for a quick little session today. We're going to start by having a lie down on your mat. So just start with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, and then you just want to take a little lie down. And just take a minute to settle yourself down onto the floor. So I always reach my fingertips down towards my heels so my shoulders are away from my ears. Feel your whole foot down on the floor and just take a minute to notice your neutral spine. So see where your spine touches the floor and where it arcs away from the floor. Let's start by taking a nice deep breath into the side ribs. So breathing into the side ribs and then breathing out through your mouth. And again, breathing in, feeling the ribs expand out to the side. And out through your mouth, letting your body soften down. And last one. Good. From there, we're going to do some pelvic tilting. So with that, we're just going to rock the pelvis forward and backwards a couple of times. So as the pelvis tips up towards your ribs, you feel the lower back press down into the floor and then reach your pelvis the other way, creating a little mouse hole in your lower back. So as you move the pelvis forward and back, you wanted it to be a nice easy movement, not tense in any way. Think of the movement being quite fluid and soft. And notice how that movement affects your spine all the way up, even into your neck and head. Just allowing an ease of movement. And then come back to neutral spine, sort of halfway between those 2 points where you were tipping. And we're going to go into some bridging now. So take a breath in, and then when you start to breathe out, you'll press your lower back into the mat and then press down through both feet and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Okay, nice long line between your knee and your shoulder. Take a breath in here, and then as you breathe out, you'll drop your sternum down to the mat and lay your spine down one bone at a time, all the way down, and release at the bottom. Take a nice breath in and then breathe out. Lower back presses down into the floor, hips lift off, reaching the knees over the toes, and breathe in at the top and sighing out to lay your body down. And breathing in as you touch down, and breathing out as you lift your spine up off the mat. Thinking of creating nice length in your body and laying your spine down with that length as well. And we'll do one more like this. Tip the pelvis towards the ribs, press down through your feet, lift the hips up, find the glutes and the hamstrings nice and strong here. And now from here we're going to lift up one heel and then pop it back down on the floor, and then lift up the other heel and put it down. Now the trick with this as you alternate from side to side is to keep the hip bones nice and level. So as you lift up one heel and then the other, you don't want to be dipping the hips. So just a nice prancing like motion between your heels now. And then leave both heels up off the floor, so you're up on your toes, really feeling the hamstrings and the glutes. Take a breath in and then rolling yourself down, staying up on your tippy toes. Roll yourself down, find the middle of your spine, and then put your heels down on the floor as well. Good. Now take your arms up over your chest, so your fingertips are up towards the ceiling. Then from here we're going to arc the arms overhead and then circle them wide down by your body and then back up over your chest again. So breathe in as the arms reach over your head, and breathing out they come down, and then again nice big arm circles, and then hands come down beside you. Okay, now we're going to lift our legs up into tabletop. So the right leg just comes up into a 90-90 position. So you want to feel that the leg's quite light and the shin is level with the floor, and then pop the foot back down on the floor. And then alternating from side to side and taking the leg down. So breathe in as the knee comes up towards you, and then breathe out to softly put it down on the floor. And again, this is where we want to keep a nice stable pelvis. So trying to keep really anchored down through the pelvis, not rocking from side to side as the legs lift up. If you want to put your hands here on your hips, you can, to help you find that stability. Breathing out as the leg comes down. Try and arc the thigh away from you rather than just bend the knee down back to the floor. So the movement comes from the thigh bone, and the bend of the knee stays just the same. Okay, now we'll add some arm movements with that. So opposite arm and leg will just come up and then put them back down. So just taking opposite arm and leg up over your body and then laying them back down on the floor. Another thing to think about is just keeping the arm in line with your body. See if you can just move it straight up and down rather than splay it out to the side as you bring it up. So it's just nice, in line. Nothing much changes between the hips and the shoulders. And then we'll pause with one knee up and one hand up. From here, we're going to reach the leg away and reach the arm overhead, and then bring it back in. And then again, lengthen the body and then bring it back in. So breathe in as you reach away, and then breathe out as you draw back in. Really reach through the fingers and toes. Nice long body. Reaching the leg almost as though you're reaching it out of the hip. And again, just keeping the arm in line, as upper arm as close to the ear as you can. Doesn't have to go down to the ground, just on a diagonal out from you. And that's the last one. Pop the arm and the leg down. And then we take the other side, opposite arm and leg come up, and then a nice length through the body and bring it in. Reach and in and reach. So breathe in as you take the arm and leg away from you and out. See if you can keep the ribs down though as you reach the arm away, so you're not letting the rib cage puff out. And we'll do one more here. And then put the arm and the leg down. Good. We'll take bent knee fall out now. So if you just pop your hands onto your hip bones, we're going to take both knees out to the side of you and let your foot roll onto the outer edge. And then breathe out, bring the knees back in. So just take the knees out to where you feel comfortable. And it's also a good idea not to let the legs just flop open. So you take the knees out with control and bring them back in with control. Breathe in as you take the knees out, and then breathe out. Feel the inner thighs drawing together as you bring the knees back in line. And out. And just with your hands there on your hips, you can notice if one hip wants to, or one leg wants to drop out quicker than the other. So see if you can get a really nice smooth movement through your legs. Good. And then this time, one leg will just stay where it is and the other knee will come out to the side. So take it a little bit less far at first and then bring it back in. And then we'll do that leg again. So just taking one knee out and see if you can keep the leg that's still, the foot that's still on the ground, just where it is. So not letting this knee wobble around. The other thing to keep is stable through your hips here. So I'm not You don't want to be tipping your body over like that. So you're keeping nice and steady and just getting that movement through the hip joint. Good. And this time that leg will stay still, and take the opposite knee out and bring it back in. And let it come out. Roll onto the outer edge of your foot and then draw it back in. Remembering to keep the leg that's still nice and still. We'll do 2 more here. And in and out. Good. Lift up one knee into tabletop and then the other knee as well. Hold on just behind the thighs and give yourself a little rock until you come all the way up to sitting. So thanks for joining me for this quick session. Hope you feel good.